Welcome to another episode of Sports and Discourse with your host, Derek Stevenson. And on today's episode, we are talking about Kentucky's home victory over Arkansas. And, first, I just want to start off by saying, once again, man, I apologize for the last stream. I don't know what happened with my audio. I reset my computer and seemed to go back to normal. So, this time I actually checked it before I started the stream, so it should be sounding okay. If it's not, let me know. Yeah, well, anyways, like I said, I apologize. Now let's get back to this game, man. So Kentucky comes away with the victory, 111-102. Once again, we struggled defensively. Pretty much nothing new at this point. Kentucky is a very bad defensive team. And the thing that Arkansas did really well, Arkansas just attacks, they attacked the basket. And some of their guards got some decent size, some decent length. And they were really good at penetrating. And they was, once they would get around our defenders, they would just drop the ball off and get their bigs some really easy baskets. So, we already know the defense is still bad. We gave up 102 points, but I was still happy to see us pull out the victory. And obviously, towards the end of the game, Rob Dillingham, he went off. He kind of took the game over. But I do want to shout out some other people. Yeah, definitely JC. I was just getting ready to talk about Bradshaw. Before we get to Rob, I want to talk about Bradshaw, man. I was really impressed with how he played today. He played, he ain't really been playing that good lately, and he kind of had been getting froze out a little bit. Onyenzo kind of took over that starting role, and then Big Z had kind of been stepping up a little bit. So mostly we had been running Big Z and Onyenzo. And they both are playing pretty good. But today, Bradshaw, he came back to life, man. He gave us 15 points. He was 6 for 8 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds. And, he did that in only 12 minutes of play. So he really still didn't get to play a lot, but he was super productive in his minutes. And like I said, I appreciate that the guys don't give up. Because, he could have dialed it in. He could have gave up on the team when he lost his position and, lost a lot of his minutes. But he still seems focused. He still seems locked in. And he was playing hard today. One thing, a lot of his rebounds was like where he was really in there, like battling and trying to hold his position and going up and getting some balls, which is, that's kind of been the thing that I feel like has taken away from him being able to progress his game. It's just him not being strong enough. So today I feel like I seen him going in there making some man plays, and definitely he showed me that he got some heart and he's ready to compete. I love that we are not dependent on one player. If we could just get this team defensively together, we could be a great team. That's the only reason that they struggle with some teams as much as they do. They just can't play defense. But offensively, man, you just never know what you're going to get. Today, we got 22 points out of Reeves. We got 19 out of Wagner. We got 10 out of Edwards. We got 10 out of Shep, 15 out of Dilly, 12 out of Big Z, and 15 out of Bradshaw. Man, that is crazy nice, balanced production. And then we had a couple of guys that, we normally can depend on that really didn't get to do much. Like Adu Thero didn't really get a lot of opportunity to do much. He still played hard. He still hustled. He still made some big plays. But, it really didn't need them to do as much. Trey Mitchell, Trey kind of struggled a little bit, which is to be expected. He's probably not ready. He only played 16 minutes his first game back. So I really didn't expect too much out of him. he kind of made a couple of blunderhead decisions, sort of at the end of the game that I don't usually expect from him. But overall, we just got so much production out of everybody. Wagner and Bradshaw was killing it. Wagner actually, the way Wagner started the game, we needed every little bit of that from Wagner because we started the game slow, and he was kind of the one that was kind of just keeping it from getting ugly early, and he just just added a little bit here and there throughout the course of the game, but he really sparked them in the beginning, and then late, I was really impressed with what Justin Edwards did for us. He made 2 big plays in a row, or maybe even 3 if you count some of the steals and stuff. But Justin Edwards kind of came in clutch a little bit at the end of the game. He wasn't really necessarily having a great game in the beginning of the game, but that last little few minutes, he made some really big plays. And without those plays, we probably would have lost another one. So definitely shouts out to Justin for that. But like I said, Bradshaw was just playing big today. He was, he had one of his games, man. It's probably his second best game that he's had at Kentucky, and we needed every bit of it. If UK would put half as much energy into defense as they do into offense, nobody is beating this team. Yeah, the defense is just so bad, and I can't even really explain it at this point. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's just so bad. Like even when I feel like we playing a good game, and then I look up and see how bad we were on defense, and just see how hard we make the game. And we gotta keep winning these nail biters, but it's just tough because you just see so many mistakes. Like I said, Arkansas is really good at getting to the basket, and when their guards was getting in the paint, they was just getting a lot of easy baskets, or they were getting a lot of easy drop-off baskets for their big men. So they definitely, Arkansas definitely played a good game. It's just Kentucky played a little bit better offensively, but I mean, Arkansas scored 102 points, so they definitely did their thing as well. The thing that Arkansas was doing really well at the beginning of the game was they was drawing a lot of fouls, and they weren't really fouling Kentucky. So they were actually, even though we scored 111, they were playing better defense than we did. Tough to win 2 games in a row. They are working our nerves. Yeah. I was starting to get a little worried there for a second. I was looking like, man, because Kentucky was kind of looking like they was about to handle business, and then they gave up. I think they gave up the lead. I can't remember exactly how much time was left, but they gave up that lead, and then I was getting really worried. But we just made just enough key plays at the end of the game, which is important. You got to be able to close out the games. And Kentucky shooting their free throws pretty good, so we definitely closed it out. But we left it open for Arkansas to take it if they was able to. We just outlasted them. I understand the defense has room for improvement, but this elite offense is winning. Yeah, the offense is just, I mean, I think the thing that makes this offense the best that Cal's ever had is just because the shooting and the assist. And normally, and I haven't even looked yet, I'm about to check in a second, but normally when Kentucky is playing one of these type of games where they scoring 111 and, they're getting up in the hundreds, it's because they usually have a high assist game with few turnovers, and they shoot the 3 really well. I'm gonna go check it right now, actually, and see. Kentucky had 19 assists, which I usually like it when they get like around 20 or more. But they actually turned the ball over a lot, to be honest. I didn't realize it, but they had 15 turnovers. So that's kind of crazy to me that they turned the ball over so well. But they shot the ball good. They shot 57% from the field, 81% from free throws, and 45% from 3. So they definitely They definitely shot the ball good, but Arkansas shot the ball good as well. They was 53% from the field, 96% from the free throw line, and 41% from three. So both teams actually shot the ball well. They had 13 assists and 11 turnovers. So both teams was about even with how often they was making mistakes versus making plays for the other players. So it was a little it was I mean, overall it was a pretty even game, just to be honest. We rebounded a little better than they did. But overall it was a pretty evenly matched game. I don't know if that's good or bad, considering Arkansas was 14-14. But Arkansas played their game, driving to the hoop almost every time. 47% of their shots are getting fouled and going to the hoop. Yeah, they put a lot of pressure on Kentucky going to the ball, and Battle was going crazy. Battle had 34 points, but it's crazy because Battle had 18 free throw attempts and he hit 17 of them. So you want to talk about somebody that's really putting pressure on the other team? Like, he was really like getting in the seams and making stuff happen for his team. And then he had a couple of other guys that did some good numbers as well. I was actually shocked that Ellis only ended up with 4 points, but yeah, Battle was definitely doing this thing. 18 free throws is crazy, but that's on us too, because we just aren't really good at guarding the ball, and our help defense wasn't really on point like it needs to be. But like David just said, the freshmen do seem to be getting better every game. They seem to be learning and get more comfortable. And I know, it's late in the season, so we would like for them to had already hit this mark and be a little bit more ready at this point. But I do feel like they are making some improvements. And it, like you said, everybody just gives Kentucky their best game. That is true. They always seem to get everybody's best shot. And that's just the way it is. That's what you come to Kentucky for. You're going to get those type of games, and you just got to be ready for it. And fortunately, they are showing that they can win those type of games. They can close games out, which is definitely making me feel better going into the tournament. All the games they lost, they had low assists. Yeah, they normally when they really on point, they usually have 20 plus assists and like 10 or less turnovers, and that's when they really be cooking out there. But like I said, today they had 15 turnovers, but still they moved the ball pretty good, and especially at the end. Rob Dillingham was doing a lot of like pick and roll type of action, and he was making some good plays. He was either scoring or he was getting the big man some good easy baskets, some good looks, and that's what that's the main thing with Calipari's dribble drive offense, is he wants his guard to attack, not necessarily to score, but to get good looks for the big man. And if you got somebody like Rob doing that, and he's getting to the basket, getting layups, getting floaters, or he's throwing alley-oops, then that's the way Cal intends it to work. So I'm sure he was happy and impressed with Rob's play at the end of the game. How much longer will Cal be at Kentucky? That is a good question, man. I feel like the way the game is changing, it's just hard to say with some of these older coaches, because I feel like, with all of the NIL business, the transfer portal, I just think the older guys that's already been there and done that, I don't know if they really want to continue having to deal with that, because I know it's got to be frustrating as a coach, because I feel like I feel like Cal may have had more pressure on him this year than he has in a lot of years, because he's seen over the last several years that if he doesn't keep players happy, keep players locked in, they will give up on the team in the middle of the season. And I could very well see that happening this year. And like I said, I got to give props to the guys that they still do seem to be enjoying each other. They still seem to be happy for each other. They still seem to be focused and locked in. But there's a few guys that could have became frustrated, and like I could have seen Aaron Bradshaw becoming frustrated and losing focus. I could have seen Burks becoming frustrated. Just some of the guys that really didn't get a fair chance, they probably feel like, or even some of the guys like DJ and not DJ, but Rob Dillingham and Reed Shepherd just having to continue to come off the bench. Even though they play big minutes, that probably at the very beginning probably was just different for them. They probably had to get used to it. So I feel like a lot of this is probably tough on coaches to just have to be so involved in so many aspects at all times. Like you never really get a chance to just focus on trying to win because there's so many other things going on, so many aspects. But I hope that with the NIL and transfer portal, I hope some of these players could be retained. And I'm not sure, to be honest. I feel like we're going to lose a lot of players off of this year's team. Even some guys that I didn't necessarily believe would be gone at the beginning of the year, I think have a chance to be gone this year. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if Onyenso put his name in the draft. I wouldn't be shocked if, Bradshaw put his name in the draft. And in the beginning of the season, I thought we would have Reed Shepherd for 2, maybe 3 years. And now I'm pretty sure he's going to be gone. So the only thing that could probably save Reed Shepherd is if they actually gave him a real significant NIL deal. Maybe he might come back for that. But pretty much I'm expecting him to be gone when I thought we would have him for a few years. Same with Adu Thero. I hope Adu comes back. But he might could sneak in the draft, maybe not even the first rounder, but he probably definitely would get picked in the second round. I hope he doesn't want to settle for that, but it's possible that he might. You just never really know. I think they rely on blocks too heavy and then slip on defense. Yeah. And see, the thing is, if you pressure the ball, and you force guys to drive, that's cool if you got good rim protection. But we don't have reliable rim protection. So when we press up on guys and they go around us really easy, a lot of the times they get all the way to the glass and get easy layups. So it's kind of like, I feel like the guards need to try to find a better balance of not being too close to their defender to force them to drive, but not being far enough away, that they can get easy jump shot looks. So we kind of in a bad situation because we don't have reliable shot blocking. And sometimes they don't even rebound after they get a block shot. Yeah. And that's why I'm a little afraid of them, to run zone. I know a lot of people are like, man, they should just try to run a zone because they get beat so bad in the man-to-man defense. But I'm afraid if they start playing zone, I'm just worried that you're going to be asking too much of these guys and they're not going to be able to figure it all out. You're going to have to be hoping that they rotate properly in the zone, that they communicate very well, that they can close out on long-range jump shots, and that they can pick up offensive players to block out on and, secure the glass work. And I just don't know if I trust them to do all of that at this point. So even though they play bad man-to-man, I think still they would probably play worse if they played zone for a long stretch of time. So I ain't really for sure. Best team chemistry in the country. Yeah, I definitely think the team chemistry is top tier. I think these guys love each other. and support each other as teammates. You know what I'm saying? I think they really are happy when the other one succeeds, and I don't think they're jealous of each other or anything like that. So I definitely think they got, top level chemistry, some of the best that we've had on our Kentucky team for a few years for sure. If they get the Final Four or better, we might lose 8 guys. Yep, definitely. If we get to the Final Four, I think it's possible that we could lose 8 guys anyway. But definitely, if we get to the Final Four, I would expect the majority of the team to be gone. What about Z though? Yeah, I'm getting more and more back on the Z train. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. The first game when Z had his debut, I jumped out the window. Like, I was like, Big Z is that dude, and we gonna win the championship because Big Z plays for us. Like, I was all the way out of there. Like, and then obviously, he disappeared for a while, so I had to fall back off of that. But I'm starting to come around on him again. Like, I'm liking the way he's been playing these last several games. He still got to learn a little bit more, especially on defense. He's got to learn to process things a little bit more, and he gets caught lacking on defense a little bit. But overall, he's playing better. I think he's playing harder, and he's earning some more minutes. And that's the good thing, like they were saying on TV during the game. It's good that, you have 3 7-footers, and, maybe if one ain't playing so well, like tonight, Onyenso really didn't play that well, but Bradshaw and Big Z both played well. So at the end of the day, we didn't really lose any production. We still had it going. We were a little shaky, but we did out-rebound Arkansas today. Awesome to see Justin Edwards be clutch. Yeah, like I was saying, man, we might not win this game if Justin Edwards didn't make some of those plays that he made at the end. And when he hit that, I just lost power to one of my lights. But when he hit that 3-pointer, like, he shot that with like supreme confidence. After he had made that one little that jumper on the baseline. And then, like I said, he was playing hard on defense. He was getting his hands on some balls, scrapping, trying to get some steals. So he definitely turned up a little bit at the end of the game, and we needed it, or we might not pulled it out. So definitely shouts out to Edwards for that. We'll see when they play Tennessee if there's any improvement on D. Yeah, Tennessee is going to definitely test it because Tennessee, we know what Tennessee is going to do. Tennessee is going to play hard. Tennessee is going to play rough. So if there has been improvement on defense, Tennessee is definitely going to be the test. They're gonna show us what we really made of. But man, I definitely want us to get Tennessee. Like I said, y'all know I hate when we lose to Tennessee. So definitely that's one of the ones that I want us to get that one real bad. March just feels different. Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, Calipari is always hitting the fans with the whole wait till March thing and all of that. And sometimes it's super annoying, but I feel like his team is, I ain't going to say they built for March, but they definitely are getting better. And hopefully, like I said, we just got to get the defense together, because in the tournament, I'm just going to be afraid if we have to win the whole entire tournament, giving up 100 points and scoring 100 points, it's just going to be almost impossible. So, we're going to have to tighten things up, because I feel like when they play in the tournament, the game is going to slow down. The referees are going to be they probably going to let the game, let the teams play physical, which has been kind of an Achilles heel for us all year, physical teams. So I feel like we're going to have to be ready for slow-paced physical games. And it's not going to be as much run and gun, because when Kentucky gets out in transition and they getting guys baskets, layups or spot up threes, Kentucky going to put up some points. But in the tournament. I don't think it's going to be those type of games. It's going to be a whole lot of half court execution, and really, you're going to have to play tough half court defense. So they got to get ready for that. And Tennessee will test him on that. Go Cats, baby. Yeah. I mean, I'm loving it though. Any way we can get these wins, I'm taking them, because I just don't want them to slip so far to where they have, really tough seeds in the tournament. And I think somebody had just texted me and said that right now we're projected to be a 4 seed. And I prefer 1 through 3. Like, I feel a whole lot more comfortable in a 1 through 3 seed. But 4 is where it starts to get a little dicey. But we just gotta take the best we can get it at this time. So if we have to go in as a 4, we just gotta make it work. But that's definitely gonna be better than going in as like a 7th or 9th seed. So we gotta knock these last few games out and try to make a little noise in this SEC tournament so we can get the best seed possible. Reeves didn't play the last 7 minutes and was still the leading scorer. Yeah, I think it was just one of those things where Reed definitely played good overall, but that last little stretch, that lineup that Calipari was using was just clicking. And I think it was just one of those moments where he just had to ride that out and just let them bring us home, even though, Reeves didn't necessarily play bad and, he deserved to be in the game, but he just had a lineup out there that was working. So I think he just had to go with that. 7 players in double figures. Yeah, that's probably one of our most balanced games we've had offensively all season. We had a few like that where we got a decent amount of production from, as a collective unit. But that's probably the best one that we've ever had. We just had a whole bunch of guys in that 12 to 15 range, and then had a couple of guys do some decent numbers. So overall, but we've been seeing them, play good on offense all year. And obviously we gotta just tighten up the D. That's what's gonna determine if we win or if we make a run to the Final Four or not. It's gonna be, can we slow some teams down? And obviously it's gonna take a little breaks here and there too. We might need to get some good matchups and stuff like that to go in our favor. But that's part of the game. So hopefully it'll work out for us. The region is equally important. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Even though I know Kentucky fans will travel, pretty much don't matter where we play, Kentucky fans will travel. But definitely the region is important for sure. I know Trey Mitchell was out for 4 games, but he was awful today. Need him to be better. Yeah, he was awful. I'm going to give him a little bit of a pass, though, just because I'm going to give him one warm-up game because, I know he's probably been practicing a little bit here and there, but you just don't really get that feel till you get out there in the real game and it's intense and you get to, feel the contact and test your body and see how you feel. So I'm looking for him to play a lot better the next game, but I think they should still bring him off the bench. I don't think they should just throw him right back into the starting lineup. I think they should just slowly work him back in. And if we can keep getting, decent production out of everybody, I don't really feel like it's necessary to just play him a big number of minutes. Keon Brooks is killing it at Washington. I ain't really paid attention to Keon this year. I know he played well last year. I think Keon was just in one of those situations to me where I feel like he didn't really get a real opportunity to have the ball in his hands consistently at Kentucky. And we'll see going forward if Calipari was making the right decisions or not, because one thing that I can say so far is that when players usually transfer from Kentucky under Calipari, they don't usually go on to have like the same type of success that the players that stay at Kentucky end up having. You might even have like guys like Johnny Jew saying that, he or even Charles Matthews, they played good in college when they left, but they ain't do nothing in the NBA. I don't even know if they got drafted or not, but they definitely ain't make no noise in the NBA. And then, obviously Bryce Hopkins, he had a little wave where he was looking really good, and then I ain't really heard too much about him since. Then obviously Wheeler, Wheeler's out there with Keon. So, that's one thing that we will say. Usually the guys that leave, they aren't, they don't end up having a whole lot of success after Kentucky. So we'll see. Like I said, today was the first day all season that we had a full roster and no one got hurt. Yeah, that was kind of wild. And I hadn't even checked before the game started, so I didn't even know that Mitchell was playing. I was out running around taking care of some business, so I didn't really even check nothing out. I just got home just in time, probably 3 minutes before the game started. And so I was kind of shocked to see him. I wasn't expecting it. But it was good. It was good to have the full team available. They had options, and they used everybody a little bit. Let me see. I think Onyenso played the least amount of minutes. He played 8, but everybody on the team almost got 10 plus minutes of game time. So that was actually cool. And then, like we were saying, Bradshaw and Edwards had limited minutes, and they made some big plays and stuff to help the team out. So even though they didn't really get a whole lot of run, they capitalized on the little bit of time that they got, which, like I said, we needed every bit of that, especially Edwards' plays at the end of the game. But anyways, man, another key win for us, man. We just got to keep piling them up as much as we can get, and close it out on a good note. But yeah, man, I think we can wrap it up right there. But listen, like I said, as soon as I started, man, I apologize to y'all about the last stream. I was super excited to talk about that game, and the audio was just all out of whack. Like I said, I don't know exactly what happened. I just had to restart my whole system, and when I restarted it, it was working fine. So I just got to use it as a lesson learned to make sure I test everything before we get into it. But as always, man, I really appreciate you guys bearing with me, holding it down for me, because I know I'll listen back to it. It was painful. So I appreciate you guys staying in there with me. But yeah, man, so we got to wrap these last few games up, Vandy, Tennessee, and we got to make it happen. But you guys, as always, feel free to keep commenting, and we'll get back at it next time. Sports and Discourse with Derek Stevenson. Y'all have a good weekend.